This program brought to you by alanstevens.com.au.
Okay, so Alan Stevens, facial profiler, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much. I came on today expecting to be running the session, and then Jay said to me, look, we haven't got anybody on the member spotlight and Jeanette can't make it today. So I thought, yeah, okay, I'll do something. This morning, I was on the Connect Collaborative and Ed was there. I did a presentation along with Karen Chasen and James Short, and we talked about collaboration, and it's something that we've actually put together. And so with that, I thought, rightio, I'll just do a quick rundown over that. See, I come to these groups not to sell, but to see who I can collaborate with, because at the end of the day, if I sold to each of you, I'm getting each of you once only. If I'm able to understand who you are and build a strong network with you, I've got access to all your people, and reciprocating on that, you'll get access to all of mine. When it comes to the know, like, and trust that everybody's using as a catch cry at the moment, it's all stated know, like, and trust with people. The problem with that is people don't understand the separation of it. It's two parts. It's the know and like, and then it's the trust. People will listen to people if they like them. And people, when it comes to advertising, you can advertise, and the old stats were that 7% of people would listen to it. But if somebody was talking about you, 80% of people would listen to it. So we want people talking about us, we want them talking about us the right way. And we need to educate them to be able to do that as well. So that, yes, we've got to build that know, like, and trust with them. But for them to talk about us, they've got to really understand what it is that we do and be able to promote that to other people. And in building my collaborations, what I've always worked on is a simple process. I'm just going to share my screen because there's 5 aspects to when you have a collaboration with people that you need to cover. And the first one, I'll just bring it up here. Everyone puts fun as the last thing that we look at. In reality, it's the very first thing. I look at the people who I'm thinking of collaborating with. They may have a fantastic service. It may really link with mine. Like Karen works very well with people, the individuals, getting through their loss and other things, understanding themselves. Mine is in, yes, understanding themselves, but also how to connect with other people. And we overlap and we connect beautifully. But I never could have got into a collaboration with her if I didn't know, like, and trust her. And in that know, like, and trust, the first thing we did was I asked myself, can we have fun? Is it going to be a joyful thing when I'm working with her? And so I met Karen and also James Short about 10 years ago through another networking group in Sydney. Laurie, you were part of that one. And first thing I looked at was, do I like these people? And I'll go through a little process of how we actually built up over a period of time. But starting at the end right now, when we put something together, there's got to be fun. We've got to be able to respect the people that we're working with as well, because if we don't, it's difficult to collaborate. Their values have got to be aligned with ours. So unless it's fun, there's respect, and there's alignment in what we're doing, then it's not going to work. Communication is extremely important, and understanding the other person is a necessity. It's absolutely vital that we understand the other person. We can communicate with them in the way that they want to be spoken to. The old saying of treat others as you would have them treat you is fine when it comes to looking about respect. But when it comes to communication, it's a case of treat others and communicate with others in the way that they would have you treat and communicate with them. So in other words, understanding their style. When you've got all that together, you've got no other option but to have trust. Once you've got that, now we can work together. Because as I said, people will listen to you if they like you. They'll only do business with you if they trust you. And the collaboration was having that trust. We actually presented this morning, 7 people in the room. We had 3 people sign up to do one of the courses we've put together. And when we did our presentation, we had not prepared a thing. We spoke for the best part of 50 minutes, all 3 of us, and we just worked in beautifully together, because in building that project that we put together, we went through that. We knew where each person's qualifications are, where their strongest gifts were. And we knew how to then talk to each other in that way, knew who would present best at any given point. There's no other work that needs to be done. But one of the things, I'll just come off the share for a moment, I'll come back in a minute. One of the things is in building your collaborations, you've got to work out the best way to actually do that. We've talked about, a lot of times here, people have said, okay, I've got a link I'd love you to share. That's where I start with people. I look at everyone and go, rightio, what they're putting out, if they've got some great posts, then if they have, then will that be of value to my people? Yes, it will. Therefore, I'd like to share that for them. I want to find out if they can also share mine as well. So we have, sharing content. That's the first level. If the person shares the content and I'm sharing theirs and we regularly do that, now I know that, hey, this is somebody that might be able to do a bit more with. And I'll take them to the next level, which is when they're running events, for instance, I will share that content. I will advertise the courses that they're running and also them sharing my events as well. Then from there, I look at it and go, rightio, well, their clients are similar to my clients. They provide something completely different to what I provide. So how can I introduce them to my network and talk about and introduce their services and everything else? So the next level up there I was looking at was what I call a super group. Now, this is like a little bit like a BNI, but a lot more fun and built on not using KPIs you have to follow, but KPIs you want to follow. And that is, I will find people who have the same clients that I have, but provide a different service. Each week we get together. And each month, I should say. And the first question we have for each other is, did you do what you said you were going to do last month? Next thing is, what are your goals for this month? What is it you want to create? Where do you want to take your business? Who are the people you need to be connected to this month? And what's something I can do for you? Is a particular post? Is an event you want to share? Now, because we've done all that posting for each other, commenting on each other's posts, and also talking about some of the events. Now we're doing it in a more structured way. From there, people like James Short, I started off with him like that about 5-6 years ago, because we started 10 years ago, but 5-6 years ago, we brought that into where he's now a profit partner. And a profit partner is somebody that I connect with every week at the same time. It might be, as James said this morning, a couple of minutes, or it might be 20 minutes that we have the conversation. But the focus of it is, you do what you said you were going to do last week. What's your focus for this week? What's something I can do to help you this week? And who do you need to be connected to? And so we do that on a weekly basis. Now, for the field that James is in, I would not have somebody in my super group who has the same field. Because who would I give it to? It's going to be my profit partner, the one I'm closer to, that I work with regularly. At any level, if you work with somebody, say, at sharing their posts, sharing their events, and all of a sudden they're not sharing yours, well, but they worked well as commenting on your posts and sharing your posts, then I bring them back to that level. But I keep stepping them up stage by stage to find out where we no longer match, and I bring them back to that level. And so this is how you build that strong network around you, people who are talking about you all the time. I'm going to share another link on my, you'll find it in my chat box there. It was my diebiz.com/Alan Stevens. It's my electronic, calling card. And on it, when you open it up, that's what you'll find. It's got some of my history and other things in it. But over here, this collaboration partners, if you click on that one, it will open up another page. That's in my website. It's a landing page that will take you through to a manual. In this, it's got my bio. It's got my personal background, my mission, my vision, my philosophies, my values, my why, the accomplishments that I've achieved. I give this to all of my profit partners and all the people I'm collaborating with and go, right, I want to see yours. The more information you can give me, the more I understand who you are and what it is that you do, and the more I can promote you. And then I talk about the different areas in which I work, and it just goes through. It doesn't have to be as long as mine, because I work right across a lot of areas. I work with businesses, I work with large corporations, I work with parents and school teachers. But in there, it has things on what everybody I'm looking for. What somebody mentions there, you can't find a a decent partner. That's on the personal relationships. They think that everyone they date's a psychopath, how to find the right partners there. So all of those different areas, but it gives somebody a full rundown. It also talks about some of the online courses, which are now all accredited as certified learning solutions for all industries except for school teachers across Australia and Asia. And then some of the background and some of the people that I've worked with. And so by giving that to people, they then understand more about me. Now, what I do is, if you're going to come through to be in the super group or a profit partner, I want to see that. In fact, I'd like to see a version of it, even if I'm just going to share your posts. Because that way, when I comment on your posts or I'm talking to other people, I can tell them more about you. And one of the things, if you've got that as a PDF, and if anybody wants a copy, just go to that DiveBiz, download it, and that'll give you a template of what you can put together for yourselves. Because the more that you share with each other, and we mentioned this once before, didn't we, Jay, in coming into these groups, meeting each other in the breakout rooms was to then be able to come back and introduce the person you met in the breakout room, which means you've got to listen and understand the other person. And I think that that's something we definitely need to do, because I can talk about me, you can talk about you, but if nobody's listening, like how many times you go to a networking group and you say, all right, who came here to buy? Every hand goes up. Who came here to sell? Not one. So what I say is then you came here to talk at each other, not to each other. The more, like all of you I know have got gifts, and I know that you're going to be of great value to anybody that I have in my network. So I'd like to be able to promote you to them. Does that make sense? So the more I understand who you are, the more I can promote you, and hopefully the more you understand me. And in that process, I get to know you. And the conversations we then have are more in depth, and I really get to trust you. And then by referring you to other people, I have no second thoughts about doing it. How's that, Jay? You're muted, mate.
I wasn't on mute then. I didn't say. That was absolutely fantastic. Are there any questions, guys? Anna?
Yes, I like the idea of that overview and everything. So I would like to fill one out, and I was wondering if you have a template to make it easier for me.
Yeah, well, I can. I've got it in Word file format. First of all, I'll just leave the template. I'll just take all my stuff out, and there'll be just the titles there.
Thank you.
I'll put that together for you.
All right. So,
Dave.
Yeah, Alan, I think what Anna just asked for is a good idea. I would like to have that too, and maybe it's something that you can just make like a community resource or send it. I don't know. You do what you think is best with it, but I think it would be a great thing to have.
Happy to do that.